Shea Lowe, how you doing?
What's up, man?
I'm excited about this, man. I'm glad that you have decided to jump on the show. It's maybe a little out of your comfort zone.
Not
It's
really.
gonna be huge.
Just talking.
Yeah, exactly. So I will record an intro before we actually throw this up. So having said that, let's just jump straight into it.
Do it.
A few things that I wanted to jump into is what you're doing right now. You've only been in Pensacola for a few years. What you like about Pensacola. Want to talk about diving. You're big in the gym, just a few different things like that. So I think starting off, let's just talk about what brought you here and what's kept you here, man.
So work.
Yeah.
Follow the money, right?
That's a good reason.
Go where the money goes.
Yeah, man.
I am a technician for a water purification company. So we do like medical grade, industrial grade water purification for hospitals, laboratories, oil refineries, chemical manufacturing plants.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much anything that has any kind of laboratory has to have specialty water. So that's what we do.
Interesting. Okay.
So I started in Birmingham doing that in 2012. Was there like 3 months. Opening came up in Pensacola. I was there the next
You're
Monday.
gone from Birmingham.
Very nice.
Wow.
From a Friday to a Monday.
Interesting.
Packed up everything Friday night, drove here Saturday, found a place to stay Sunday, moved in Monday.
That's man,
crazy.
that's awesome. There's something to be said for just picking up and going where you want to go.
Need a change.
Yeah.
Change of scenery, change of job.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
what were
I
you
feel
doing?
ya.
What were you
That's
doing
what brought
before
me
that
there.
in Birmingham?
So I was
Pretty
working.
much, yeah.
Yeah. So the municipality, the city I lived in, I was working for the city doing like road crew, parks and
okay.
recreation.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was all right. It was a dead end.
Right, yeah.
But it was something, you know,
Mm-hmm.
going to
Something
school
else
full
you can
time.
do. Okay.
So
Puts
Cool.
food on the table.
Man, and so that was 9 years ago, right?
roughly
Okay. Around 8 or 9. Yeah, 2012. Okay.
8 years ago.
Man, that's crazy. So you just enjoyed the area enough to stay then?
Actually, I hated it.
Oh.
So at first, I absolutely hated it.
Okay.
I worked here for 2 years. They had another job open in Birmingham. I was like, I'm moving back. I had no friends here. I didn't fish. I didn't dive.
Okay, yeah.
I sat around, played Xbox, and ate pizza, and that was it.
Not a bad life, not gonna lie.
So I moved back to Birmingham, and my dad at the time was a supervisor in Birmingham.
Okay.
So the big boss was like, authorized to move. He's like, yep, you guys are good. You can move. And then he was like 2 months into working at Birmingham. He called me in his office. He's like, I got a problem. I was like, okay, what's the problem? He's like, nepotism laws. You can't work for your dad.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh.
Bummer.
I was like, so what are
Yikes.
my options? He's like, move back to Pensacola or find a new job.
Oh.
So the guy that had taken my position here, we called him up, conference call. We're like, what's the chances you would want to move to Birmingham and work? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? So we just flipped. He went to Birmingham. I came back to Pensacola. And,
Okay.
And now he's my boss.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I trained my boss.
Wow. Good
That's
for you,
awesome.
man. Not many people
Yeah.
can say that.
He's cool, though. He's super cool.
That's cool. Okay. So what was your feeling when you came back to Pensacola? Were you like, man, I got to do this again, or?
I came into it with a little different perspective.
Okay.
I was like, okay, this time I'm going to be here. Because originally the plan was always wait for a position to open in Birmingham, move back. That's where my family's from. That's where all
Okay.
my friends were. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
Makes
Gotcha.
sense.
So this time I was like, let's find something I enjoy. Let's branch out, find some new hobbies.
Yeah.
And
meet some new people.
And meet new
I mean,
people,
really, that's
definitely.
what it boils down to. It's like when you have a lot of people that are like-minded, you can hang out with and do stuff with. It makes any area, I don't
More
want to just say
enjoyable.
bearable, but yeah, more enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
well, you want to build a community.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So you started fishing
Yep.
first,
Yep.
and then got into spearfishing eventually.
Kind of.
Okay.
So one of my best friend, he grew up in Miami area. His family's from that area.
Okay.
And he would come down like every couple of weekends, hang out. I would go up there, hang out. He's like, hey, let's get you in the water.
Yeah.
Let's get you just a regular snorkel set, a little bitty cheap spear gun that I had no business handling.
Yeah.
Because I grew up fishing. I grew up hunting, fishing.
Okay.
So I liked guns. I loved fishing. I was like, I can shoot fish underwater. Like,
Yeah.
let's do
It's
it.
combining two things you loved.
So instead of going to the dive shop and actually like getting the correct gear, we go to the dive shop, buy the cheapest, disgusting spear gun they have. We get a leather belt and we duct tape lead to it, so I had something to keep me down, with a snorkeling set from Walmart.
Oh,
And they throw me out in the jetties in Perdido Pass. We swim to the end of the jetties.
Trial by fire, man.
Exactly. We swim to the end of the jetties, and I shot a little sheep's head. It was legal. I say little. It was legal. Let me clarify.
Okay.
It was legal size. I was like, this is awesome. And I was hooked.
That's awesome.
Came back in the next day. I was like, I need to buy these fins. And I need to buy a real weight belt. So I actually started
Empty your
free
bank
diving
account.
before I got certified. I started free diving.
Okay.
So I free dove for 2 or 3 years before I decided to get scuba certified.
That's a really good base, I feel like. It's completely different from scuba diving.
Completely different.
But it's still good exposure.
Yeah, it was a good way to literally get your feet wet. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I did. I started free diving, then we got scuba certified, and it exploded from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, how long have you been scuba certified?
5 years.
Okay.
4 years.
Okay.
4 years.
Man, yeah, because I think when we were together last summer, I think it was 3 years. You told me
Yeah.
then. So, yeah, I'm really. He's gonna do it. Like
You've got to.
We've talked about
yeah.
it. Actually, him and his wife, I think, are gonna do it together.
Yeah, she wants to hop in.
So, I mean, kudos to her for being down to jump in the water and do that. But
She's adventurous.
It's a different
Yeah.
animal up here. It's not like you see on TV and they go to the Bahamas, you can see for 100 feet. It's not like that here.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes you get super good visibility. You get in the water and you can see the bottom 80 feet deep.
That's crazy.
Sometimes you get in and it's the equivalent to swimming through a jug of milk.
yeah,
It's like chocolate milk.
Fair enough.
But, beggars can't be choosers.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and sometimes you just want to get in the water and just
Yeah,
go.
it doesn't matter.
That was the
Exactly.
exciting thing is like we closed on your house last summer.
Yep.
And at the closing table, you were telling me like, oh man, you should get into scuba diving. It's so much fun. I went from the closing table and I went to Dive Pros
yeah.
and I signed up for
I
classes.
remember.
And man, from the second night of class where they put all the gear on you and put you in the pool, I was like, this is
awesome.
insane.
Yeah.
This is so much fun. Like just learning how to breathe with the gear underwater, it was just unreal.
Well, it gives you opportunity to see something. When you're diving, it's literally a world that
Yeah.
most people don't see. Like we live on the
Exactly.
coast, so a lot of people dive. But you take people away from the coast, you go farther inland.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody dives.
Well, hardly anybody's even been to the ocean in
Right.
Midwest and that
Well,
area.
my first time at the ocean ever in my life. I was 18 years old when I came
Yeah.
to visit PCC.
Right.
So the water was completely, and I've been made fun of so many times just for trying to get used to like life on boats and gear and everything like that. But
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You're a newbie until you're not, you know?
But see, us 5 years ago, we were the exact same.
I'll bet, yeah.
Exact same shoes. We didn't know anything.
You just got to power through it. You just got to
You
do it.
You've got to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to go out there and pretend like you know what you're doing, and then I'm not dive related, but like on the boats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just kind of go with the flow. Study other people.
Yeah,
Study what other
yeah.
people do. Reputable people. You can get in some
Yeah,
bad crowds
yeah.
down here. But
I follow
That's a good
the
point.
qualified captain on
yeah.
Instagram.
There's a lot of
it's
those around
so
here.
funny.
We call them weekend warriors.
Yep.
People that only
Yeah,
fish on the
that's-
weekends, they have no idea what they're doing.
Yep.
Weekend warriors.
You used to
Yeah.
work you used to work with me at the airport, and that's what we called them too. They come out and fly on the weekends, and that's it.
Weekend
Yeah.
warriors.
There's something to be said for when you pick a hobby, be good at it.
Right.
Really just practice it
Excel.
and excel. Yeah.
And that was the thing for me. It's like I've always been good at a lot of things. You know, I'm good at hunting. I was, good at playing sports. I'm good in the gym, but I was never great at anything until I started spearfishing. I was like, okay, this is my thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's so cool to be able to figure out something that it's just for you. You just enjoy it.
Right.
I mean, that's how I felt about spearfishing, and we haven't been in a long time.
Right.
I mean, 2020 has been a crazy year. I only go with you because you're the only person I know who I would trust to go out with.
Right. And that's the other thing too. You've got to have the right people with
Yeah.
you. Because if you get my criteria with like a diving partner is, am I willing to get in a bad situation with them?
Yeah.
And can they get me out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'm the lead. Let's call it a lead for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
I'm the lead. I'm the spot. Like when I'm with you, I'm not really focused on shooting fish. If I see something, I'll take
You're
the
watching out for
opportunity.
me.
But
Yeah.
I've got my eyes on you.
100%. And I trust you to do that. That's
Right.
why I go underneath with you.
Right.
You know?
Well, see, and that's how I was. I was the newbie. I had to
Mm-hmm.
go with people that.
Yeah.
Okay, if I get down here and get in a pickle, can they save me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never got myself in a pickle, but if you did, it's one of those better to have it and not need it kind of things.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's going to happen at some
Hands
point.
down.
I feel like riding a motorcycle. It's not if it's going to happen. It's a
yeah.
matter of when. I'm sure you've been in some pickles
Oh yeah.
at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten myself in some pickles. I've always gotten out of them, or I wouldn't be sitting here.
Oh,
But
yeah.
But yeah.
Man. Yeah. And the first time we went down was the day after Thanksgiving last year. And we were at like 100 feet. You said we were 8 miles off the coast. And I saw my first shark first time spearfishing ever. I mean, I had been diving multiple times. You don't remember this?
I don't remember what structure we were on.
Oh man, I don't either. I have no idea. We were shooting. I'm so sorry. I have no idea. I don't even remember. But I remember you were telling me about your shark shield because the last time you had gone out, you'd had a brush up or something.
Yeah.
So as soon as we got to the bottom, you showed me how to use the hand spear, and I was just trying to kill lionfish.
Yeah.
And then you like tapped me and turned me around, and I have no idea what kind of shark it was. It looked big, but I was like, everything was just like
changes.
Yeah, huge.
Magnified.
So I was like, man, the first time I felt lucky, and I mean, it was not a dangerous situation at all, but I just was like, man, I saw a shark my first time down.
They're
almost
almost
so
always
exciting.
just curious.
Yeah,
but it's like 9 times out of 10, they're just curious. They're going to swim in, do a couple circles, and I want nothing to do with you, and they swim away. But that 10th time,
and that's the time that'll mess you up.
That 10th time is the one that'll scare you from diving again.
Yeah, we're gonna try and avoid those at all costs.
It happens. You just stand your ground.
Yeah.
Just if you let them win, they're gonna. So it's like with spearfishing. Like you'll see a lot of videos on Instagram and stuff where they take the fish, or they'll give the fish to the shark to get away from it. Well, that teaches them a behavior of they're diving, they're spearfishing. Now they associate that with a free meal.
Yeah,
so it's like ringing a dinner
push
bell.
you to get what.
They're going to push you till they get what they want. So my biggest advice is like in that situation, stand your ground. Stand your ground.
Interesting. Like a bully.
Poke them, stab them, whatever you've got to do. Stand your ground.
Fend them off.
Yeah, and it's nice when you have the spear gun. I mean, you have a little something you can use.
It doesn't always stop them.
I'm sure it doesn't. Tell me what I know you've had several run-ins with sharks before.
Yeah, I've had my fins bit off before. I've held fish like under my arm to keep them away from them, and they've come up and swim under my rib cage and grabbed them from under my arm and swim off with them.
I'm honestly surprised that they are that precise. I guess I'm not precise.
They're really
but,
smart. Animals in the ocean don't get enough credit for how smart they are. You know, you catch these 30-pound snapper and stuff. They didn't live 15 years for no reason.
Yeah, fair enough.
And as hard as the fishing pressure and stuff is around here, you know, we'll see 60-pound grouper when we're diving, and the second he sees you, he's gone because he's smart. He knows better.
Interesting.
So, but yeah, sharks are they're cool. They're cool.
Yeah. Before I even started diving, you had told me about just a couple brush ups you'd had, and I was thinking, man, I will never ever go on any kind of shark dive. Or shark diving and cave diving were the two things that I was like, I'll get certified and I'll go on shore dives and walk in the water from Fort Pickens. Never do anything else. Problem is, it's kind of addictive, and as you get comfortable with one thing, you want to move on, which is okay, and that's a natural progression.
Of course.
But now I think it would be very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I know Mason, I think he went to Jupiter or something on a shark dive. Yeah,
those sharks
are videos.
Those are not the same kind of sharks.
I'm sure
those sharks are used to seeing people 300 days a year.
Yeah,
they're not the same. Those are pet. Those are pet sharks.
Yeah.
The sharks out here, you're not petting them.
So want to get into diving?
Yeah. Sounds like a rush.
But I will say this: the only time I've ever been like aggravated or had sharks like mess with me, I've been spearfishing. I've never been on like a sightseeing dive, not getting blood in the water, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And had a problem.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's always been a result of shooting fish. And sharks run off of the like electromagnetic field, so they can sense when a fish is freaking out, when one's bleeding. They can also sense when you're nervous, and they'll take advantage of it. That and bull sharks are just kind of assholes. So.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. That's really cool. That kind of stuff is so interesting to me. And again, that's one of those baby steps kind of thing. And I think I've been out with you 2 or maybe 3 times max. And every time I just come back and I'm like, man, I want to do that again so soon.
It's addicting.
It's addicting for sure.
But I didn't jump in like you said.
100%.
You started at Pickens. So did I.
Yeah.
I didn't go straight at the 200 foot and jump in and swim to the bottom.
Yeah.
The first time I did 50 feet, I was like, oh my God, 50 feet. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do 50 feet. Now I'm like, I'm not even stopping at 50 feet. Like, let's go straight to 180.
Yeah. Man, and you've heard, I was kind of stupid when I first got certified. Unsafe in a lot of ways, but even for my certification dive, for my advanced cert, we went to the Joe Patty barge, which is 40 feet.
Yeah.
So then I had just gotten advanced in nitrox, and then when we went out, that was the deepest I'd ever been. So moving into then I know you don't like to talk about it too much because you don't want to like gloat or anything, but you lost a significant amount of weight.
Yeah.
How many years ago? How long has it been?
5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, roughly 5 years
Okay,
ago.
gotcha. That's around the time. Sounds like when you started.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I got certified on New Year's 2015, I just started to drop some weight.
Okay.
I was still a big boy, but
How much did you lose when it was all
from biggest to smallest, 200 pounds.
200 pounds? That is insane.
Yeah,
That's
but see, like, looking back on it, you don't see it like that's a lot of weight. Like, it's kind of like, oh, I lost 10 pounds this month, or oh, I lost 8 pounds this month.
Right, yeah.
Then 2 years later, you're like, holy crap, you know?
Yeah.
I look like I'm anorexic now.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you ever looked anorexic.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. Well,
I don't post the bad pictures.
Fair enough.
I only post the good pictures.
Fair enough.
No one
Yeah.
posts bad pictures.
No, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
That's the beauty of social media.
Exactly. You can
It was-
portray what you want.
It's
Yep.
so cool though to see somebody pick. I'm fooling around with this cord. You guys hear that scratching?
Yeah.
Just slightly.
Yeah, I need to not touch it anymore. It's cool to see someone set a goal like that and power through.
So
'Cause I think
I actually never had a goal.
really,
I was bored.
really,
started.
I was living here by myself.
you just wanted
Like
something to do.
all my family and friends were here. I needed something to do. I would literally sit like on Friday night. I'd go hit up Redbox, get 5 or 6 movies, plug in Xbox Live.
Redbox, I remember that.
And I'd plug in, jump on Xbox Live, and I'd eat Chinese takeout. I would
Wow,
sit down,
yeah.
and my Friday night routine was 2 large pizzas and a 2-liter Mountain Dew
Oh, wow.
every Friday night.
Man,
And so I was just
that's
bored.
respectable too.
that'll do it to you.
Which I was active in high school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
Afterwards, you just kind of
you stop being active.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
keep the same eating habits, and
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
Gets
exploded.
away.
I sympathize.
So I was
Yeah.
like, I just need to do something. So I started like making my own little, I'm going to do 10 push-ups, 10 push-ups, 10 squats, and whatever it was at the time. And then I bought the program Insanity.
Oh wow.
I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
all right, my fat ass is going to start doing Insanity.
Yeah.
So the first month I lost like 35 pounds. And
Wow.
I was keeping the
Wow.
same. I never changed my eating habits. I was still eating garbage.
You were just brought back that activity level.
Right. So and I was like, 2 months into it, I was like, let me tweak my diet. So I tweaked my diet a little bit, started drinking more water, less pizzas. 1 large pizza, not 2 large pizzas.
Yeah.
And I lost more weight. And I was like, let me change my diet more. So then I did a complete flip on my diet. I mean, it went from like eating junk food and Little Debbie's all the time to
Man, I love Little Debbie's.
I ate the same meal for 2 years straight.
Really.
Wow.
The exact same thing every day for almost 2 years straight.
What was
Yeah.
it?
Christmas, Thanksgiving. Oh no, it was. So in the mornings, I had a protein shake, and then I would eat every 3 hours. And then my first time I'd eat a Greek yogurt and a mandarin orange. And then at lunch, I would eat one of those little Star-Kissed 90-calorie packs of flavored tuna with like 3 crackers.
Yeah.
And then I would eat an apple with a 100-calorie snack pack of almonds.
Uh-huh.
And then at dinner, I would have a cup of black beans, a cup of rice, and 1 chicken breast.
Wow. Good for you.
2 years straight.
Man, good for you, but
Kill me.
that sounds terrible.
Well, at the time, I didn't care. Like,
Yeah.
I was seeing results.
Yeah, I'm sure once you
And
got a
that's
little taste of
addictive
that,
too.
it was
Right.
yeah.
But
yeah,
now, like,
it was a driver.
I'm not eating that crap ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It sucks.
Oh man, yeah. That's. I mean, but it takes that discipline,
Yeah,
and you saw some results, and then
Right.
you just leaned into it.
Yeah, I mean, it started at, I couldn't make it through, because Insanity's like 50 minutes per workout session, and I couldn't go 10 minutes. I was like, winded, I'm going to have a heart attack. My fat ass is not supposed to be doing this. I don't move like this anymore.
Yeah.
And then it got to where, a year later, I was doing it all the way through, fast forwarding through the breaks, and then I'd go on a 5-mile run.
Good for
Afterwards.
you, man.
So
Wow.
then it progressed to I do Insanity in the mornings before work, go to work, come home, do it again, and then run 5 miles.
Oh, man.
And then I got down to like 145 pounds, 143 pounds.
Wow.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely crazy. But when I hear you doing 50 minutes of Insanity and then going to work and then coming back doing 50 minutes, I'm thinking I would never do that. And I think a lot of people, 100%, like 98% of people are the same way. It's easy to look at cool stories and be like, man, that's really cool. I'm glad that happened. But then just go about your day and not do anything about it. You know? And that's something I have been struggling for a long time, in and out. I love running. Running's kind of, it's not my favorite thing. I prefer lifting weights, but it's just been difficult. I always need a buddy to go with. Like I need somebody to do a circuit with or whatever. And Danny and I worked out pretty much every day in high school.
Yeah,
we were
it was
active,
like 6 times a
doing
week at
stuff.
least.
Yeah.
Right.
And we would always go in the evenings. It was just a good routine. And
Yeah.
then he left for college and I left for college, and it just stopped.
Well, that's the thing. Humans are structured beings. We thrive with routine and structure.
Yeah.
So like I've really noticed that with my son. It's like we have a morning routine, a bedtime routine, and he knows it.
Good for
And
you.
if it's off, he knows it. So we're the same way. I'm the same way. Like I have my daily routine, the same things I do every single morning. And if it's off, everything's off. My diet gets off, my habits get off, my
Yeah.
sleeping gets off.
Yeah.
So I just made it a routine.
Yeah.
And that was my routine every day. And it just becomes second nature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get to the point where you don't even think about it
Right.
anymore. It's not that struggle to do it all the time. And I mean, this is our third week, right? Yeah, this is
Yeah,
our
just
third
started
our
our
third
third
week
week
of trying to go 4 times a week in the evenings, and then we've started to go in the days as well. And now it's not that. The first week, I think we were like 3 days in. And then my sister came over to the house. We were all just hanging out before we left. And I told her, I was like, all right, you and I get a pizza and let's watch a movie and just hang out.
Right.
And him and my roommate were like, no, you're coming with. And that's not an option.
Right.
And I needed that. I needed it. And now I look forward to it. It's enjoyable. And we're not even a month in,
Right.
but it's a good feeling, to put in that work, like we were talking about before we hit record, to put in that work, it's just as good mentally as it
Yeah.
is physically
It's
for
more
you.
of a mental growth than
Yeah.
anything. Like
Yeah.
if you put the mental part first, the physical stuff will come.
Yeah.
Get in the right mindset, and then the physical growth will come later.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to have a balance too. Like you were saying, your guys are going to order a pizza and stuff. You've got to have a balance because
Yeah.
what I've noticed, like in myself and with friends and stuff like that, being active the last few years, is that people will, I'm going to eat this, and that, super strict. 3 weeks in, completely derailed.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
binge. And
Burnout.
I struggle with that. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat super strict. Like 2 weeks in, I'm like, nope. Going to the gas station, I'm getting gummy bears and a Coke, and like you binge. But you got to have that balance. Like,
Yeah.
don't deprive yourself of anything, but don't splurge on everything.
Well,
yeah,
right
portion
now
control is
we're
probably a big thing too.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's true. Right now we're doing 3 days where we kind of have cheat days. Like we'll really binge on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday we go out to eat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I mean, yesterday we went to
working
Taco
up to that
Bell.
one day.
We were on the way back from the beach. We got Taco Bell.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all about balance.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think this is much more of a sustainable because we've made it that routine. So I have always struggled with if I want to be a morning person I've always been a late night person. Like I feel more energized in the evenings. I'd rather work till 3-4 o'clock in the morning and then sleep late in the day.
Nope.
Well, yeah, I know. And I had trained myself to do that for years and years and years.
Right.
So trying to switch, I'd wake up 2 mornings in a row. I feel great, got so much done. And then that third morning I wake up and I'm like, I can't even get out of bed right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay up late tonight and do everything that I should have done earlier today.
Right.
But the last 2, now almost 3 weeks, 5 o'clock in the morning, we wake up and by 6:30 we're at a coffee shop or somewhere where we can sit down, pull out our computers. He and I are working together. We get a couple buddies to go with us. Ethan's a business owner, so he does the same thing. And it's just really, I feel like my life has done like a 180, and I wasn't in a horrible place, but just that mental knowing, okay, we're going to go to the gym, going to come back, I'm going to get a shake, shower, and go to bed. And
like
then
you said, routine.
Yeah, routine.
People thrive on structure.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's Jocko Willink who says discipline equals freedom.
Yeah.
And I've felt that just recently, waking up so early. By the time it's 10 o'clock rolls around, I feel like I've gotten a full work day in, and it's only 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I usually do have a full work day. In by
Yeah,
10.
yeah. So you said you normally leave around 1 to
Around-
3 o'clock then?
Yeah, so like I usually leave my house around 5:15. Most days I'm off by 1 o'clock.
That's not bad.
No.
That's not a bad schedule at
But
all.
it's also, you got to put in the work so you can be off by that time. You
Yeah.
can't go
Yep.
in there and drag ass for
Yeah.
4 hours. And like, oh, I
Yeah.
think I want to do something now.
If you're producing,
Yeah.
you can get it done.
Productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing with us too. I mean, we had 3 closings a couple weeks ago and we took the next day off.
Yeah.
You know, it's just really, it's nice to be able to make your own schedule to the degree that, you know, if you're producing, you can enjoy the results of that.
It all comes back to balance.
Yeah, I was just
You
gonna
got to
say.
have that balance. I take off to go fishing, His
Yep.
buddy calls me on a Wednesday, and I have the luxury with my job too. I don't make my own schedule, but it's extremely flexible.
Yeah.
So if
As
my
long
buddy
as the
takes me
work
on
is getting done.
on Wednesday night, like, hey, we're going fishing tomorrow. I'm going fishing, dude. I need a mental break.
Yeah.
Even if I don't need a mental break, I'm still going.
Yeah. Even if you don't, you do.
Yeah, I do. You always need to
Yeah.
go fishing.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, it's cool that working there for, just a few years now, you're at that point where you can do that. And I'm sure that's good for your son too.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how old is your son?
He's 2 years and 3 months.
Okay.
That is crazy.
Still a little guy,
What a trip, man.
right? You have no idea.
I don't. I really don't.
No, he's a huge blessing. I mean, like, it changes the way you think about everything.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it does.
Now it's like before, like even with my diving, I was super reckless. And I'll be the first to admit it, like, and that's not something to be proud of in the dive community. I was dumb reckless. I mean, like, I was pushing myself to limits that most guys after 10 years don't push themselves to. I'd look down and be like, oh, I've got 400 pounds of air left. I'm at 200 feet. I'm going to shoot that fish. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, you
And then at 50 feet, you're going sucking for air. Not
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, even getting on the boat in the morning, I'm like, okay, I've got a kid to come home to that I've got to provide for.
Yeah.
He needs his dad. Like, I can't do anything stupid.
Can't be stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, I love that though about the discipline as well as the balance, having a balance, but also still getting everything done you need to.
Right.
Yep.
And it makes you feel better about yourself, makes you more confident, and also the results that you start seeing, whether in your fitness or seeing,
Mental growth.
Yeah, mental
Yeah.
growth or skills when you're diving a lot.
Right.
It's addicting once you see those changes in yourself, and you can look back and see how far you've come.
Absolutely.
It's fun. It's a good time. So yeah, we'll start with you guys. We'll just go shore diving at Fort Pickens. Man, I enjoy Fort Pickens, but I've been so many times now
it
because I've
gets
gotten
old.
a lot of friends into diving, and it's really, I don't know how long I can see the
Yeah,
the same
I know.
golf cart and toilet bowl and coral.
Yep,
Again,
and rock.
But yeah,
You'll start
There's a
naming the
rock.
rocks.
yeah.
Like, oh, that's Pete.
Yeah, but it's still fun. It's still fun to get in the water, and I enjoy night diving. I've been on 3 or 4 night dives.
That's
out
a lot
there.
of fun.
Yeah, with my old roommate Evan, and that's fun.
So you need to get into a night dive, like on a charter offshore.
Yeah,
like,
we
not
talked
just
about
at
that.
Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
That will change your life. You go down there, it's black. Flip on your lights, and the thing, like, a lot of people don't understand is underwater there's no light. There's light, but at the deeper you go, the more color you lose.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you get to a certain depth, everything looks gray.
Yeah.
You might have a couple of colors stand out here, the rust color, things like that. But you flip on a light in the dark and 100 feet deep, and it's purples and yellows and greens and whites and all, and the color, the fish look different. Everything just explodes in color.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's like a crayon. A pack of crayons took a crap on a black piece of paper. It's just like color everywhere.
Man, that is so cool. How many times have you been out at night? Like, how deep have you gone?
A dozen or so.
Okay.
Probably.
And do you go spearfishing at night?
No.
I was gonna say
No, I'm
surely
good.
not.
I'm good.
Surely not.
It's just for sightseeing.
Yeah.
Probably 140, 150 at night.
Okay.
Wow.
But that's normal. That's comfort
Really?
level for me. That's
Okay.
just warm them up. I'm comfortable there pretty much day or night.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things that I'll be waiting a little while before I jump into. Just because, even going at night at Pickens, I got lost one time at Pickens.
Yeah, you can.
I didn't have a compass, and I was following the slope down, and then I told my buddy we were going to turn around and come back, and then we were following the slope back up, and then it dropped down.
Yeah.
And I looked up, and I thought, I don't know where I am. If we follow this slope, we may be going out into the pass.
channel,
Where is this going to take us?
The good thing about Pickens is you can just pop your head up out of the water.
That's what we did.
You're like,
yeah,
oh, there's the lights.
and
Go
that's
that way.
that's what I'm always so. You're supposed to have a flag, and we didn't have a flag. Which I'm telling on myself here. Nobody important is going to be hearing this anyway. But we didn't have a flag, so I was like, what if I pop up and I get a face full of propeller or something?
Yeah.
You can hear and see the boats coming from.
But they might not see you.
Mhm, exactly. Yeah.
When you got all that gear on you, when you're full of air in your BC, you can't just swim back down.
Yeah,
It takes a
time
solid
to drop.
20, 30 seconds to start dropping.
Yeah, so that was my fear is, I can pop my head up and just see where we need to go, but at what cost?
Right. Well, the thing offshore, like when we dive offshore, we'll anchor off. Somebody will go down, tie into the structure, and we'll put a strobe light on the anchor.
Oh,
So
so
if you
see.
do get off, you turn your light off, and if the visibility is good, 60, 70 feet away, you see that strobe light.
Okay,
And
so
you'll
you know
know-
where to go.
you'll know the anchor line's there.
I think that makes a lot more sense, and I feel like that's just common sense,
Right.
Because I just hear, man, being down in the dark, it's just creepy.
Right.
It's creepy.
It is
And
creepy.
Even going, Well, yeah, and the time we got lost in Pickens was daytime. So I just came and popped up and we were fine. And I went to Dive Pros that day when we dropped off our tanks and I bought a compass. I was like, we're following it out and we're following it back. Yeah. That was, man, it was not even that dangerous of a situation, but I thought I saw my life flash before my eyes.
It's
I was
unnerving.
like, yeah,
well,
it's
and the
unnerving.
thing is, you're underwater, and you know if something happens,
everything is
especially if it's
amplified.
dark, you can't, if your air supply gets cut off or you get hit by a boat or
It's a lot more serious.
it's different on land. You're like, oh, I'm lost. I'll just walk around till well,
Yeah.
down there you run out of air. You can't breathe.
Yep. You're gone. Yeah. So, I mean, the times that we've been night diving at Pickens, we've gone twice now. Seen some cool stuff.
Yeah.
The second time we went, it was so cold. We were underwater for probably like giving it a liberal estimate would be like 7 minutes, probably like 3 to 7 minutes. And we were shivering. We came back up, but still, I mean, just being down there and, it's unreal. It's a totally different thing at night than it is during the day. Yep. So much fun.
So this is like a super ignorant question to ask, but what's the weirdest thing that you've seen at night?
Nothing really odd at night.
Yeah.
You'll shine your light past something, you'll see that shark fin go by, and the farthest part of your light where you can just barely see, you'll see that shark fin go by, and you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's not going to bother you, but it's just knowing.
Unnerving.
Knowing it's there.
TV and stuff has built up sharks to be these awful creatures and stuff like that. And now I'm not saying they're not awful creatures. I'm just saying they're not as like dangerous as people say.
They're not,
they
aggressive and killer. Yeah.
But it's so like seeing something underwater, like a shadow go by, you're like, oh.
Yeah, well,
what was
even
that?
you can know in your head that everything in TV has been amplified, but man, that still gets to you.
Yeah, I'm like, was that a megalodon?
Or man, yeah, that's. So have you seen anything super weird, like just diving in general? What's one of your craziest diving stories? I should have had you going on that before you got on here. Yeah.
I've had so many, I don't want to say bad things, experiences.
Yeah.
There's not really one that really stands out. I did get ambushed by a shark 3 times in a row. So like, this is the situation. This is the time when I decided, I'm buying a shark shield. I'm carrying a power head.
That's the one you told me about.
Well, I went down. This was the only time I've ever been attacked unprovoked. So went down, had nothing on me, just my spear gun and my stringer. Got to the chicken coop. He comes in, makes a pass at me. I'm like, all right, that was kind of aggressive. Second pass, he opens his mouth and I pushed him away. I was like, okay, something's not right in this shark's head. Yeah. Third pass was full speed, hits me as hard as he can. I had to hold on to his the top of his nose and his mouth. And he drops me backwards in the sand.
That happened to me with a homeless guy the other day. No, teasing. Go ahead.
No, so he hits me full speed. I drop my gun. I've got him by both hands on top of his nose, just trying to hold him back. And
that's like a video game.
Exactly. Yeah. And he spins around the third time, and I carry what's called a power head. So it's, in layman's terms, it's just a bullet.
Yeah.
It's a bullet that goes in that threads onto your spear gun.
Okay.
So I pulled the bullet out of my sleeve, put it on the end of my gun. He came at me the 4th time, and I shot him. And then it was kind of lights out.
Yeah.
He didn't do much.
Good night.
Well, fair
but
enough.
I don't like that. Like, I don't want to kill him.
I mean.
But at that point, I had no choice.
Yeah, it's a survival
And then
thing.
the other thing too is like if I swim up, now I've got all this open water under me.
Yep.
Where on the bottom there's structure I can put my back to, so I know I'm protected from behind. The sand is below me; he can't come from under.
Yep.
If I was to swim up,
they like to come from under.
and they do like that. They'll come from behind. They know where your eyes are.
Oh yeah, didn't you tell me people will sometimes put on their strap like a pair of eyes or something? Yeah.
Because sharks, they know where your eyes are.
That's crazy.
So they'll put on their mask. They'll put like a neoprene cover with eyeballs on it, so they don't know which one's the front and the back.
Wow.
Because almost every time I've been messed with by a shark, they've came from behind.
Yeah, and it's so hard when you got your goggles on, man. I mean, I feel like, oh man, that sounds. Did you guys hear that difference?
Yeah.
Do you hear it now?
Yeah, this one's out.
Oh.
Yeah, my right one's out too, actually.
That's so strange.
Oh, there it is.
We got it? Yeah, okay.
We're back. We're back.
We're still messing with the equipment. But every time I'm underwater, like I feel like to turn around, I'm like Batman in the Christopher Nolan movies. I have to turn my whole head just to see.
Do.
It's really so I mean it's very to have something coming at you from behind, it's inevitable, I feel like.
It is.
You can't
at some point
you're not gonna be able to see it. So and that's even when taking a safety stop on the way up, especially when we're live boating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just open.
Well, a lot of times,
water.
if you're diving with a buddy, which you should be, just go back. We go tank to tank, back to back. So you've always got eyes on both sides.
Yeah.
Or if you're by yourself, I just do circles. I just sit there and spin in a circle slowly.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that because you're just waiting time.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but usually I'm carrying, I've got 100+ pounds of fish hanging off my hip. So it's like I need to really watch what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that is unreal. Wow, man. I love it. I just love hearing you talk about this stuff. That's what got me into it in the first place. It's just so cool. It's just fun.
It is.
And I don't know that it'll ever be anything that I'm intense about like you, but it's enjoyable when I can go, and it's nice to have somebody like you I can go with who I trust.
It comes and goes in waves. You're not a weak link. It's like, what is the old saying? Like in a wolf pack, the weakest is always in the front, so he never gets left behind.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, you want
a great example.
You go diving with other guys. You're only going to push yourself or go to the limits of the weakest link, and that's where you grow because you get a chance to dive at your limit, but our comfort level. Yeah. It's like, this went really well. Let's go 10 foot deeper. Let's go to a different structure, or the current's not as bad here, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not really I wouldn't call it a weak link.
Yeah. Well, I like that expression, like my limit, your comfort level, because I may be at my limit, but having a bunch of people around who are comfortable, it makes me at ease.
It takes some edge off.
Yeah, 100%. That's exciting, man. Well, I mean, we talked about diving most of the time then.
That's okay.
That's kind of how I expected it to be. So that's awesome. Well, Shea, I appreciate you jumping on the show. Where can people find out more about you? Social media?
Instagram.
Okay.
I don't really do Facebook much.
Yeah, same.
It's at Shea, Shea Lowe, Lowe, Jr., Jr.
Shea Lowe Jr.
Shea Lowe Jr.
Lost 200 pounds.
You'll get a new follower after
noise.
Like 2 minutes.
I'll bet you get a couple.
Yeah, it's gonna be like if I don't wake up in the morning with like 10,000 followers, I'm suing.
Maybe we shouldn't air this one.
Wait, the contract I signed said 10,000 followers by midnight.
He's lying. There was no contract. All right. Well, Shea, man, I appreciate you being down and jumping on, and we'll do this again soon. Okay.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, man.